Okay, let's just dive right in. We have to talk about that feeling, you know the one, that incredibly frustrating moment when you know exactly what you need to do, but your brain just won't cooperate. It's like you're fighting a battle against yourself, and it's exhausting.
You sit down at your desk, you're ready to go, you're ready to be productive, and then nothing. Absolutely nothing. Before you know it, you're reaching for your phone, and that's when the guilt hits. You start asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Am I just lazy?
Well, here's a thought that might change everything for you. You are not lazy. It's not a character flaw. The real issue is that your brain's reward system, the very thing that's supposed to motivate you, has been hijacked.
So let's start right there. Let's completely dismantle this whole idea of laziness. Honestly, it's a myth. It's a lie that we tell ourselves that holds us back. And the first step to getting your focus back is understanding why it's not the real problem.
See, the real culprit here isn't a lack of willpower. It's not about you trying harder. It's all about your brain's relationship with a tiny but incredibly powerful chemical called dopamine.
Right, so let's get into how this actually works. You have to think about it like this. Our brains are running on some seriously ancient software, but we're living in this hyper-stimulated modern world. And that mismatch, well, it's created a kind of glitch in the system. And that glitch has a name: dopamine loading. Basically, when you constantly flood your brain with these super easy, high-pleasure activities, you actually raise the bar for what your brain considers engaging or fun. Hard work, which offers a slower, more delayed reward, doesn't even stand a chance.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. On one side, you've got your cheap dopamine. Infinite scrolling, junk food, constant notifications. It's instant, it's easy, and there's no end to it. And on the other side, you've got hard-earned dopamine. You know, the satisfaction of finishing a project, the rush from a good workout, the pride of learning a new skill. The problem is, our world is just drowning in the cheap stuff.
So where does this whole hijacking process do the most damage? Well, for a lot of us, it happens within the first, say, 30 minutes of waking up. Your morning routine could be setting you up for failure before your day has even really begun.
Just think about this timeline. It's 7 a.m., the alarm goes off, and what's the first thing you do? You grab your phone. That scroll through social media gives your brain a massive dopamine spike. So a couple hours later, when you finally open your laptop to do some actual work, your dopamine baseline is through the roof. The work feels dull, boring. In fact, by 9:05, it feels almost physically painful, and your brain starts screaming, "Give me another easy hit." And this is so important to understand. It's not just in your head. That feeling of resistance is real. After a huge dopamine spike, your brain literally interprets the low stimulation of hard work as a form of punishment, and it will do anything to avoid it.
Okay, so that's the problem. And I know, it sounds a little bleak, but the good news is you can absolutely fight back. And it all starts with this surprisingly simple, almost silly 2-minute trick to just get your brain over the starting line.
It's called the 2-minute rule, and it is dead simple. First, you pick one tiny part of that big task you're avoiding. Next, you set a timer for just 2 minutes. That's it. Your only goal, the only thing you have to do, is work on that thing for 120 seconds.
120 seconds. That's it. The barrier to entry is so ridiculously low that your brain doesn't even have time to put up its defenses. Anyone can do anything for 2 minutes, right?
And here's the magic behind it. The goal isn't to finish the project. It's not even to make progress. The goal is to simply trick your brain, to get it across that invisible line that separates thinking about doing the work from actually doing the work. Because we all know just starting is always the hardest part.
All right, so the 2-minute rule gets you started, but what happens when you hit a wall 20 minutes later? How do you maintain that focus? Well, this is where our next strategy comes in, and it's a bit counterintuitive. It's about embracing the power of being boring. When you feel that urge to check your phone or open a new tab, that is the worst thing you can possibly do. That just throws more cheap dopamine on the fire. No, to reset your focus, you need to do the opposite. You need to give your mind a complete break from stimulation. You need to take a boring break. And what does a boring break look like? Well, it looks like this. You literally stare at a ceiling. You look out a window. You slowly make a cup of tea. You just walk around the room for a minute. You just sit there in silence. It's going to feel weird at first because we are so not used to this. But trust me, this is where the reset happens. Because when you intentionally do nothing stimulating, you allow your dopamine levels to fall back down to their natural baseline. It's like letting a shaken up snow globe settle. And when you go back to your work, suddenly it doesn't seem so boring anymore.
It's easier to get back into that amazing state of flow. And really, this is what it all boils down to. In this crazy, overstimulated world we live in, the secret to getting more done isn't about hustle or grinding harder. Regaining control of your focus actually starts not with doing more, but with intentionally choosing to do less.
So you see, this whole struggle was never about you being lazy or not having enough willpower. It's just about understanding the game your brain is playing. And now that you know the rules, you can start playing it to your advantage. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do with all that focus once you get it back?